Hi everyone, Aaron Day here from Cyberport in Hong Kong, China. I'm going to step in front of the camera in a second here and it'll lose its focus. But I wanted you to just see that's the South China Sea. In this jungle there's beautiful buildings up on the top of the hill above us, but it comes down into the sea, and that is the South China Sea. And you can see all the way across the other side is mainland China. And this island, once upon a time when the Opium Wars happened, all of the non-Chinese people were forced onto this island. And the history of this island's amazing too, because it was controlled by pirates for a long time. And it's not hard to see why, is the harbor gets narrower and narrower. So any ship that goes past this point of the island, they're spotted already, and the pirates can easily go out and get them. So it's not too far. It's about a 15-minute ride into Hong Kong from here. But this place is so cool. It's called Cyberport. The Hong Kong government mandated this in 1999 as part of the attempt to harness the internet boom. The son of Li Ka-shing, who's the wealthiest man in Hong Kong, Richard Li, he funded a lot of this development. What it is 4 huge office towers and this beautiful Le Méridien hotel that I'm staying in, which is a fabulous place, by the way. And you walk out of the hotel and there's just these really high-tech buildings everywhere all the way around. And it's filled with, there's a campus here, university campus, but there's also media development center, collaboration centers, and all this space that people can rent or borrow even if you're a student and come here and learn. There's all kinds of technology available, and it's just a fabulous area surrounded by beautiful high-rises, and there's a giant field at the bottom and parks for walking around. It's just gorgeous right along the sea. So I wanted to come and check this out. I met a professor that's involved with, he's actually a journalist, and we were talking a lot about content creation, and he mentioned this place, Cyberport. So I'd wanted to see it, and it is fabulous. It's something I'm very interested in, obviously. So just a short note that I'm back in Hong Kong once again, and I want to say a special thank you to a few of my followers that have really been wonderful, encouraging me to keep making my videos, even though, I constantly wonder if I'm doing myself any favor, my business any favor by making these videos. As you've noticed, I'm backing away from anything derogatory against the deep state or talking anything to do with conspiracies. However, our world is filled with them, and the truth is no longer true. It's a statement, it's become a cliche, that statement, and it's so true. We live in very weird times. And as some of you are aware, Canada and China have fallen into some political hardship to do with the 5G network, and it seems to be ready to blow over, but it has all the earmarks of the deep state being involved. Somebody from one of the agencies south of the Canadian border pulling on strings that caused this to happen, where a Chinese citizen has been detained without having broken any laws. At any rate, we hope that this smooths over. For years and years, we've had a tremendous relationship with China, Canada and China. So I hope this solves itself. As many of you know, myself and my group are involved in infrastructure funding that's part of the One Belt, One Road initiative out of China. And we introduce infrastructure projects to construction companies in Beijing and the banks in Beijing, and just recently had a a bunch more projects submitted to us from a Caribbean nation. I won't name which one, but thank you very much for sending those. Tremendous work put into those assessments, and we are able to get a response generally within 72 hours, provided that the criteria is met in the infrastructure projects, that they need to be over 100 million. They have to have 15% equity stake in the project or in the deal, and they need to be sovereign guaranteed. So there has to be a country involved, and that's why we've just recently placed some that were to do with the Caribbean nation. So the other thing that I'm involved with, and I had meetings yesterday, traveled to a different part of Hong Kong that I'd never been before, that was formerly very industrial, and it was called Diamond Hill, the Diamond Hill area. And it's being converted now. It's really cool that they're changing. See, a lot of the factories have moved either into China or Cambodia or closer to the border, but away from the Hong Kong area. And those former factories or industrial buildings are converted into apartments and into condos and into commercial space. So I was, really interested to see that. It's a different part of Hong Kong. It took me 45 minutes from here to get there, which was using a couple of trains. The transit's just great in Hong Kong. You can be anywhere really quickly. And from where I am here on the island, if you did a direct line as the crow flies to the mainland, that's where I was staying the last time I was in Hong Kong, at La Nina, which was an L Hotel in Tsuan, Tsuan West, which is the end of the MTR line on the Kowloon side. And that was very, very interesting to see, because it's all brand new growth, brand new sort of area. And it would only take 10 minutes by boat to get there, but it would take easily an hour going all the way around using the MTR and the buses and everything like that. Well, Hong Kong's just a great place for transportation, for getting around. So the other project, that the third part of all of this, is payment transaction software. We're working with some banks that are bridging out of China and into the West. The laws are changing, and they're relaxing the movement of cross-border capital from China into the West, finally. And several years ago it had been really shut down, and it all started to do with the foreign exchange scandal, where they had done the exchange twice. They did it on this side and they did it on the China side. And it caused a really big scandal, so the Chinese government, PRC government, shut down cross-border transactions and until they could solve the problem. And what they did was they created a network right across their country in every financial institution that enables the foreign exchange to take place inside of China, so that they couldn't be manipulated. And that's what was starting to happen, is it was affecting currency trading, and futures were being struck on the inside knowledge of the movement of money across the borders. So China put an end to that, and it took them several years to find a solution. And now that the solution's in place, the money's starting to flow again out of China. And we are working with several institutions to put in place trusts that enable the free movement of money legally. And everything that we do is completely tax compliant. And that's why it takes a little longer sometimes to get your structure in order. But we work with experts that research whatever country, and sometimes there's more than one, more than two, more than three. So it can take even longer to have the right tax compliant structure for all countries involved. So there's a lot of great things happening right now in this part of the world, as you're well aware, and that's what brings me here time and time again. Hopefully someday I might even move here or live here part-time. I like it that much. And very comfortable society, very safe, You feel secure, very modern, and the people are wonderful and nice, extremely cosmopolitan. So I can't speak highly enough of, China, 2 systems with 1 country. One of those systems is British. They even drive on the wrong side of the road here. And that's something you got to watch out for when you cross the streets. So things are going really well. If you have anyone that has a large infrastructure project, please send it our way. And anyone with cross-border business that needs help with that, we're at your service. And look for some new products that we'll announce in the very near future, for payments, for transaction software, payment software. Even one of them's wearable. We'll talk about that more in the future. Meanwhile, thank you very much for watching, and thank you to those people, you know who you are, for encouraging me to continue making these videos. And I'll try to be more consistent with them, and we're getting some momentum, so we'll try to get more consistent and post more on Invest Offshore, more information as to what we're up to. But thank you very much for watching.